I'm looking for all the baddies all over the world. Ladies, where my baddies at? I'm bad, you bad. Way bad. Where my baddies at? I'm bad, you bad. Way bad. Where my baddies at?
Welcome to the Not So Secret Lives podcast. I'm your host, Shan.
And I'm your host, Karina.
And today we're going to be talking about self-confidence.
I love that.
In general, in dating, in life, just in general.
Okay.
I love this for us.
I do too. Kind of segueing off sex, but like self-confidence goes into sex and dating and everything else. But I think
It does.
focusing on this I think it's a good thing.
I also think it's a really good thing. And I have read some books that I will link because they really have changed my way of thinking. And there's one book in particular that I'll talk about in a minute that has like literally changed my life.
And you've shared it with me, and I've started to read it. And
That's a different one.
oh,
Yeah, we will talk about that one as well. I've shared this other book. I've shared it with you. I have shared it with anyone I've come into contact with who has any sort of self-esteem issues, high 100% of the country.
yeah. Everybody.
Yeah. Everybody. So I will put it in the description. But for now, I just want to want to shoot the shit for a sec, Karina.
Let's do it.
Into it. Yeah, let's get into it. I got back on dating apps, which is so funny to me.
Because I just got off of them.
Yes, ma'am.
I've been off for 3 weeks?
Yes, ma'am. And it was probably a couple of days after you got off
Yeah.
that I was sitting here drinking by myself, all in my lonesome, watching movies.
Yeah, you sent me a voice note the next morning. You're like, so I got back on dating apps. And I was just laughing to myself. It's so funny. It's so funny how aligned we are in life and in general. But then I also feel like sometimes it's like, boop, no, we're not. Not all the time. It's okay.
Right? It's almost like in a relationship where you're 50-50 most of the time, but then there's that other percentage of time where it's like, okay, one significant other has to take the 80% because the other person is only filling at 20%.
And Shannon's taking the 80% of dating apps right now. And we should say 100% because I'm not on them at all.
Oh my gosh. And it's just so funny because like I was so anti.
You were.
And you were so like 100%.
And then I hit a point where I was like, done.
Done. And then a couple days later, I was like, you know what? I'm going to download Tinder.
Well, it cracks me up because I paused mine for a minute and then I got back on like the very next day. I think I had like a hard night.
Yeah, you had a hard night. You're like, fuck this shit.
I had a hard night. I was crying. I paused my dating apps because Shan specifically asked me. She's like, are you sure you don't want to delete them? I was like, no. I was like, I know, I'll get back on. And I did the very next day. And then I think it was maybe a week later that I just deleted them.
You did because you had another hard night. And I was like, babe, maybe just delete them until the beginning of the year.
Yeah.
And you did. You were like, fuck this shit. It's so funny because that was so me months ago.
I know.
Or a couple months. No, it was a couple months ago.
It's been a couple of months.
Yeah. When I was like, you know what? I ain't feeling it anymore.
Yeah.
I love that you and I are always like so opposite.
Well, yeah.
Well,
we were on dating apps together for like a good 5 months.
Okay, I mean in general.
Oh, okay.
Because, yeah, for instance, like, I am the queen of the ick. You don't get the ick. You got the ick. And I'm like, I'm kind of feeling it for this guy.
I know.
It's just like roles reversed.
We were talking about it today. We're like, are we merging into each other? Like, you're finally getting feelings for somebody and I'm getting the ick for somebody like on date one. Like, what the fuck is happening right now?
Oh my God. It's so funny to me.
It's hilarious.
It is hilarious. I have been talking to this guy and okay, so many weird things about this one particular guy that I'm talking to.
Mm-hmm.
So many weird things. Okay. first off, he's like chiseled from granite, which is not typically my type. That is Karina's type.
That is my type.
So that's the first thing. He's super tall because of course he is. He's 6'4". Okay, but not only is the like a chiseled from stone thing, which is not typically my type. I love a good dad bod.
Right. Yes, you do.
We have been talking for like 3 weeks without meeting.
Because you've had your kids so much.
Because I've had my kids and things have come up. He has had something come up as well where he's like, can we reschedule? If not, I'm totally down to meet you. And I'm like, no, babe. Like, I am also super busy. Like, this works out perfectly.
Which is crazy because we always like to meet up with them pretty quick.
That's my point, is that, like, this is not typical of me. Like, I would not even continue to talk to someone.
I was surprised when you told me that you guys have been talking for 3 weeks.
Right, but I think another part of it is that we don't like talk all day. We will like talk in the morning for a second, midday for a second, and then at night for a second.
That is how it should be. I like that.
I mean, but that's so new to me.
Well, why?
I have always been the type that it's like, we're going to text all day, every day. You know, I love a good love bombing. Come on, babe.
You do. I don't love that. I don't like, especially when I'm at work.
You don't. And it trips me out so hard because every time you say that, you're like, yeah, we haven't talked all day. I'm like, are you dying inside? And you're like, no, I'm fine. I'm like, I would be dying. He doesn't like me.
Well, I'm just so busy during the day that I need to focus.
No, it totally makes sense now to me.
Right. Yeah.
Which before, like, okay.
But he's making, the good thing about this is he's still making the time to text you morning, midday, and night. It's not all day, every day, but that's a healthy amount, I feel.
Okay, but it's not even just that. It's that, like, when he messages me, it's like incredibly engaging. And he is so, you know this, everyone on the podcast I feel knows this, words of affirmation.
Yeah.
He is constantly like, you are amazing. I'm super into you. I can't wait to meet you. But like in a genuine way, not in like a creepy, crazy way.
It's mommy way.
It's not in a love bomb way. It's like a,
that's good.
I'm like, oh, this is healthy. Weird. I don't know how to feel about this. So, okay. But I will be honest. Today, finally, week 3 or 4 of us talking, I woke up with the tummy flutters.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, I'm getting the tummy flutters.
Feel finally.
I know. And it's not even as like intense. It's more of like a very, very slow burn. And you know what's funny is I actually checked my period calendar to see if I was ovulating.
Are you?
No, I'm not. I'm not.
Where are you?
Fertility. Is that the same?
Yes.
Oh, it is. Okay, so that's why I have the tummy flutters.
Fertility, ovulating, like you want a baby.
Well,
right now
is still like a few days away for me, but it's in the fertility phase.
Yeah.
Okay. So I thought that it didn't have anything to do with the fertility / ovulating thing, but apparently it does. Because I was like, feel good fuzzy, and I was smiling at my phone. I was like, what is the matter with you? I was checking my phone, which I knew that this. Yeah. I sent him a message later on in the day that was like, hey,
I'm so surprised by that.
Or, oh, not me at all.
That's me.
I know. It is not. Literally, like, I will forget they even exist.
You're turning into me. I'm sorry.
It's fine. I love that for me because you're turning into me because you got the ick.
Yeah. What did we say earlier today? We need like a little bit of the ick for me.
Oh my God.
A little bit of the feels for you, and it'll be like
yes, like the perfect balance.
Yes, a good balance. I need that, and you need that.
It's so true.
It's so funny that you said that you were smiling at your phone because my office mate, whenever he sees me smiling at my phone, he's like, Who are you talking to? I'm gonna slam your phone out of your hand right now.
Yeah, because it's a thing. Like this.
Don't smile at your phone.
Yeah, the second you start smiling at your phone, have your friend throw a fucking refrigerator at you because
You're in trouble.
you are in the most trouble. Oh my God, it's so sickening.
I love it,
But
you.
okay, I kind of love it too because I also, so he is a personal trainer.
Okay.
You've seen his body.
Yeah.
He looks very, very good. Like he has got his shit together. He's a really good dad. He's very fit, very so fit that I feel a little self-conscious. And so I sent him a full-bodied picture of me in like some yoga shorts and a sports bra because I was like, this is how I look. I don't want you to feel catfish or something when we meet.
Babe.
Well, okay, but he was like, honestly, like, I love that you sent that, and I think you're sexy as fuck.
I saw the picture and you do look sexy as fuck.
Well, thank you. But I have this complex about myself sometimes when I'm with somebody like this.
Mm-hmm. It's hard not to when they're that fit.
Mm-hmm.
And like, we work out, we're active.
I mean, you do. I do like once a month.
My point is it's hard not to feel self-conscious about yourself when you're not doing the same things that they're doing, I guess. But it goes back into the whole, what we're talking about tonight is, I feel like in my life, you look as good as you feel, right?
Oh my God, yes. So let's actually talk about that. Let's put a pause on that last part, but let's talk about self-confidence.
Yeah. And
how, I guess it actually kind of bleeds into each other.
Yeah.
So I will say this till the day that I die. Karina knows this about me. Most people who know me know that this is my outlook on life, but like the more, I'm going to just preface by saying positive affirmations. The more you think a certain way about yourself, the more you're going to believe it. And I am a strong believer in this. I revolve my entire life around it.
Mm-hmm. Not only the more that you're going to believe it, but I feel like the more that it is going to exude through physical presence.
Totally.
Because when I have felt bad about myself, I will look at myself and it will come through and I will look like I feel bad. And it doesn't matter if I'm a certain skinny weight or a certain big weight. Like, I have been on all the realms of weight after having kids, after losing the weight after my kids, and I have sometimes felt the most sexy at my biggest and also the least attractive at my smallest. Like, it is such a head mind fuck, you know?
Yeah, totally.
And it is all in your head, but it also exudes into your physical. Like, if you're feeling shitty, you're going to look shitty. If you're feeling good about yourself, guaranteed, like, it is a mind fuck, but you will look good. Like, it's so crazy. You need to wake up every morning and be like, I look fucking amazing.
You know what's crazy about you saying that? So we've been reading this book called 5 Minute Coffee Talk. I'll link it in the description. But I woke up this morning, I looked at myself in the mirror and I was just like preaching to myself, like, you are beautiful, you are smart, you have engaging conversations, you are amazing, you are this, you are that. It really does. I mean, obviously we're all going to have the days where we can't like pep ourselves up, but it's great to like give yourself that. And it feels awkward as fuck when you're staring at yourself in the mirror, but nobody else is looking. Like, tell yourself whatever you want.
It's called Coffee Self-Talk by Kristen Helmstetter. Kristen Helmstetter. And it is amazing.
It is amazing. So one of my very, very good friends, she is like a sister to me. I don't have siblings. This girl has been like a sister to me for the past 20 plus years. Colleen gave me the recommendation to this book. And she was like, you have to read this. It's so amazing. And I was like, okay. And then I did. And I was like, you're right. This is like so good. I sent her a picture of the book as I was reading it. And I'm still like pretty new into it. I'm still reading it every morning. But it's fantastic. It really does. But the thing that I've noticed, I just got it a couple of days ago. I think I'm about 50, 60 pages into it. But the one thing I've realized about it is that this is how I have lived my life for so long. And it is something, Karina said this to me earlier, it is something that I preach to people because I don't know if that was the exact same thing. There thing that you said, but
yeah, you do. You've preached it to me.
Yeah. It goes back to what we always say, fake it till you make it. Because the more that you talk positively to yourself.
And that's what we're talking about when we say fake it till you make it. Like the more that you talk positively to yourself and about yourself, the more you're going to believe it and the more that it's just going to come true, like with the manifestations. Like, it's just going to be.
Well, yeah. And it's crazy because the people around you are already seeing this inside of you. But we're so much our own worst critics that it's like, we're just so hard on ourselves. And it's so sad.
It is so sad. I mean, you and I have done it to ourselves. I have had moments where I'm like, oh, I feel ugly and I feel this way about myself and I feel this way about myself. And you're like, I don't know what you're talking about. Like, you look so amazing. And I just can't see it. And like, you said that sometimes about yourself. And I'm like, you're not. And I just don't see it either. And like we are so hard on ourselves. And it's amazing to have people around you who will tell you that, but until you believe that about yourself, which is why these books are so amazing, like it's not ever going to come out in the physical unless you believe it yourself. And that's the hardest part, I think.
Yeah, it's never going to resonate within you until you actually start believing it, which is the beautiful thing about. So they say you have to do something, I think it's like 26 days in a row to make it a habit. So if you continue to tell yourself these positive things every day, all day, anytime, okay, this is what I tell people. Anybody who knows me can vouch for this. When a negative thought pops into your mind, instantly turn it into a positive. If you're thinking like, oh my God, my life is so hard. Everything is so awful right now. I hate everything. Instantly turn it into, for me, like, I am such an amazing mother. I am such a hard worker. I am such an amazing friend. Like, I instantly turn that negative thought. It doesn't even have to like equal the negative thought. Like, you don't have to think like, oh my God, I'm so fat. You don't have to change it to like, oh my God, I'm so skinny. No, change that thought of like, oh my God, I'm so fat to, oh my God, I'm so amazing. Oh my God, I'm such an amazing friend.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I'm such an amazing person. Da, 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 da. Whatever your strength is, my strength is I'm an amazing mom. I am an amazing friend. Those are my two things that I am incredibly proud of for myself.
You are.
And so any negative thought that I have, I always reflect to those two things because I know those two things about myself.
Yeah. Oh, I love that.
And that's what this book like teaches you to do is like retrain your thought process of like something from a negative to a positive. And that's what I've done for so much of my life. So like reading the first 60 pages of this book, I was like, okay, this is exactly what I do.
Right.
But it's more like confirmation because nobody ever told me like, hey, you should do this. It was just something I started doing. And it did change my life in the most beneficial and most positive way.
I love that. I think it's funny because I do that with other people more than myself. I'm getting better with it for myself. However, I will say like if I've ever been in a really hard situation or a really bad circumstance, like I can see or bring myself to see the positive,
Like the silver lining.
yeah, the silver lining of it, or like the positivity of it. But when it comes to myself, I'm very, very hard on myself, but I'm able to do it for other people more than me, which is what I'm learning to do. Like, I'm able to be like, no, you look amazing, or no, you're not, whatever you're thinking, that's not it, or you're just so amazing and this, and that. And like, I can like name off things specifically about you, for instance, like, you're such a bright light. You bring so much love into my life. Like, you're such a good friend. You are an amazing parent. Like, you do these things for people that are so selfless.
Oh.
But you do. And like, I can name off all of these things, but when it comes to myself, I'm learning I don't do that with myself. And I am trying, but I am so hard on myself.
Okay.
So hard on myself.
Can I tell you something?
Sure.
Were you done?
Yes.
Okay. So there's no like research behind it. There's nothing behind it. Like I can't give this to you as like a proven fact, but this is going to resonate with so many people. It feels so much better to us as a whole, in general, like the human race. It feels so much better to us to be down on ourselves. It's like almost like a comfort blanket. It's like a blanket of like, I hate this about myself. And it's almost comforting because it feels so awkward and so round and so cocky and so conceited to have an internal thought that nobody else is hearing but you, to say, I am so smart.
Yeah.
I am a good public speaker. I am a good significant other. I am the perfect woman. I am beautiful. It feels painful almost to give ourselves these affirmations of positivity, because it is so much more
compliments about ourselves.
Yes, it is so much more comforting for us to give us these negative thought patterns that we continually have of like, I am not good enough. I am not smart enough. I am not fit enough. I eat like shit. Whatever.
Why do we do that?
I'm a bad parent. That is not right, because people on the outside are looking at you and they're like, are you fucking high? Like,
for real.
Yeah, it is like, it's so much, it's so hard to explain and to like even say it in the context of like, it feels good to talk down to yourself, but it almost does. We like that self-sabotage.
It's because
we like that punishment.
It's because we've been taught not to be cocky / conceited, but that's not even what it is. It's just be confident.
But it's to yourself. And it still feels awkward as fuck.
Oh, still. And I would like to know the science or like whatever it is behind that, because
I will be having a therapist on in the future.
Because I teach my kids, like when my kids are like, Mom, you're so pretty. I'm like, oh my gosh, you're amazing and smart and kind and beautiful. Like, I try not to give them, I do give them like you're beautiful comments.
I get that.
But I also do like, you're so smart. You did this, and that. You're so brave. You did this, and that. I want my kids to grow up feeling like they are more than just looks. But I feel like in our generation, and it is
social media.
Well, not only social media, but like our like how we were brought up. I remember it being very much, and I think it still is to a point, but if you think that you're pretty, or you think that you're anything else, or you're confident in yourself, you're being cocky, or you're being conceited, or whatever. But now I look back on that, I'm like, that's bullshit. Like, I asked my daughter to feel beautiful. And I want my daughter to feel smart and brave and confident and like she can take over the world. Like I want to instill that in her.
Yeah.
But I feel like when we were brought up, it was like, you're pretty, but be a little bit quiet.
Yeah.
And you're smart, but don't be too smart. And you're brave, but don't be brave until you absolutely have to. And I want to teach my kids to like do that all the time. And I think that's where like the self-confidence, like retraining has come from, because it's like, I have been taught that, but I've been taught to kind of like mute it a little bit.
Yeah.
And that's where I'm trying to bring it back again.
Right.
And put that into me and out to the world, where with my kids, I don't want it to be muted. I want it to be fucking loud.
Yeah. Well,
Loud.
but we want that for other people, right?
Yeah. I want that for other people. I want it for my kids. It's still, like I said, like I'm working on it. Like there are still days where I'm like, oh.
Yeah.
And it is, like you said, like a warm little blanket, because I'm not like hyping myself up and like looking conceited or whatever, but nobody fucking cares. That's all in my head.
Right.
It's all in my head.
Right. Well, and to the point that you made about talking to your kids, it's so crazy because my oldest son is 23 and my youngest baby is 9. And I remember when Dizzle was little, like I've just been this way by nature my whole life.
Yeah.
And I always was like, you're so smart. You're so da-da-da. Dizzle was hard. So, I mean, it's a little different. But like I notice that with Brielle, my daughter, I am more conscious of the way that I speak to her, especially when she's upset. She came to me the other day. There have been a couple of things that have changed in her life that have made her feel a certain kind of way. And she came to me the other day and said something to me, and it didn't sit right. And I could tell that she was very self-conscious about it. So I spoke to her in a way that was like, listen, just because you are feeling this kind of way does not mean that that is how it is. You are smart. You are amazing. You are all things wonderful. You need to say that to yourself, because you will never believe that. And she's 9 years old and I am still telling her this. Yeah. Like, you will never believe that until you tell yourself that you feel this way.
Yeah.
But I've done that with her since she was a baby. Where with my oldest, I was just like, I was the baby. I was 19. I was like, get your shit together, whatever. And he grew up, he's a Marine. He's so resilient. He's amazing. He's all things wonderful. He's an amazing dad. He's an amazing significant other. But I'm like, you grew up resilient that way because we grew up together. Like anything I was learning, you were learning at the same time. But with my daughter and even my middle son, I'm just like, instill these things into them at such a young age of like, you are you, like, be so proud of who you are. Do not change. Do not conform. If this is you, baby, this is you. Yeah. Love that part of yourself. Yeah. I have a lot of haters. It is a known fact. I can't help it. It just is who I am as a person.
Here's why.
Why? I would love to know.
I'm going to tell you.
Enlighten me.
Because your light shines so bright and you are so confident in yourself and so confident in the way that you live. Not a lot of people can do that and be comfortable with themselves. And when they are so uncomfortable and so self-conscious in themselves, and they see someone like you shining bright, being confident, they don't know how to handle it. So they're going to hate. That's all people can do, is just hate and talk about it. It's sad.
It is. It's awful.
It's awful. But there are always going to be people out there. Like, we've all had haters. I feel like any haters that I've had and any haters that you have had problems with being confident, not liking themselves, worrying about what everybody else thinks about them, You don't fucking worry about that. And that fucking scares them. And so they don't know how to handle how that can be. And so they have to like fucking hate. But the people that can handle that and do love themselves and are proud of you and think that you're so amazing, which you are, do not hate.
Don't mind me as I'm curled up into the fetal position crying.
Well, and those are the people that you want in your life. Like,
Oh,
other
it's true.
people that are haters, like, bye. And I have dropped friends over this past year who have been like that towards me. You have too. Like, I don't want people like that in my life.
I know.
I want people who are only going to bring me up and love me for being me, which is blossoming. Like, that's the other thing. Like, when they see you blossoming and growing and doing good things, if people are hating you, fucking drop them immediately, because they are not true friends to you. Your true friends, when you are blossoming and growing and doing better, will be by your side fucking cheering you on and loving you even more for it. So fuck everybody else. Okay?
I just had to like be completely silent, which is so not like me, because I was loving every second. I'm like, you tell me more about me, babe. I like almost started crying. Like, it's amazing. Karina's over here wiping her eyes. She loves me so much. Like, the love that this girl has for me is so equal to the love that I have for her. This has been a very hard pill for me to swallow once. This is going to be kind of loaded, but like, I was married in the relationship and married for 10 years. He said something to me the other day that completely resonated with me. And he was saying that he didn't think that I had changed after we had got married. He thought that I had changed for him while we were married. And I was like, you are absolutely right. I had completely changed my life for 10 years, and now I'm finally my authentic self. And it feels so good, but I've lost so many people because of it. And there have been so many people in my life, especially over the last few years, who have been like, listen, your haters are going to hate you because you always wanted to conform to be the person that they wanted you to be in their life.
Exactly.
And the people who absolutely love you, they love you because you are the person that you are. And I have heard this in different times from the different people who are the closest to me in my life.
Yeah.
And Karina, you have helped me grow so much as a human and a person. And I've always been very confident and a little bit cocky. I've been a little bit cocky, and I've always been incredibly confident. But you have helped me. You and the handful of other people in my life, there's about, I would say, like 10 people that I'm very, very close to, who I could turn to at any time of the day. But you all have helped me realize that the people who love me to my core are going to stick by me no matter how fucking out of pocket I am or how crazy. And I'm just, if there's anything to know about me, it's just that I am just not like everyone else.
That's what I love about you.
I feel very flattered that I have these people in my life who just love me so purely and so genuinely. And now I'm just going off on a tangent of like, but it comes from, I feel, these affirmations that I do tell myself all the time, because I do know these things about myself that I can tell myself, like, yes, you're a good mom. Yes, you are an amazing friend. You would bend over backwards to do anything for these people in your life. Blah, 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 whatever.
And you would. And here's the thing also, in our age, I guess you would say, I had a lot of friends when I was in my 20s. You know, those have dwindled down because as I've gotten older, I've realized who my true, authentic friends are. it didn't switch from like 20 to 30. Oh, yes, I realized it has really been in the last, God, 5 years, maybe. I have had friends fall off like freaking
dropping like flies.
Like in the last 5 years. And these are people that I've been friends with for a long time.
Well, a good majority of your like adult-ish life.
Yeah. And not to say that like I don't hate them. I don't have any ill intent towards them, but I don't want people like that in my life.
No.
And it comes from, like we're talking about, like the confidence level that I have. Like I finally had the confidence to like stand up for myself and be like, I'm not going to accept this anymore in a friendship.
Yeah.
And if, you know, you feel that way about me, then you can feel that way about me.
Yeah. We did that same thing around the same time. And it was around the time that you and I had met each other.
Yeah.
Is when we decided, because you and I'm sorry, I will toot our horn all day long. There will never be a friendship like mine and Karina's ever. I don't give a shit who you are. Karina and I have the most pure, beautiful relationship. We don't bullshit each other. We will be delulu with each other, but we will tell each other the fucking truth. And we have such an organic chemistry with us. It just, and I feel that it just taught us so much in life about the people that we want around us.
Yeah.
Oh, there were the people who stuck and the people that we were like, you know what? This is not fitting my life anymore.
Exactly.
This does not suit me anymore.
Well, I mean, for instance, my one friend who I had been friends with for 10 years, and it wasn't always a great friendship to begin with.
Right.
She would do and say things to me that pissed other people off.
Yes.
Like my other friends.
I had not even met her and it pissed me off.
And I was like, oh no, it's fine. Make excuses for her, right? And then there was like that one breaking point that happened and we haven't talked since. And her and I have texted since then, tried to get together, but honestly,
we can't hold space in our life for people who don't deserve it.
I don't know. I mean, if she could, but here's the thing, like, I don't feel like, how do I put this? I feel like we were friends because she, at the time, when we became friends, she could control me a little bit.
Totally.
And like manipulate the way that I was feeling and what I was doing, and felt like she was better than me a little bit.
Yeah.
And when I finally got out of that, because I had just gotten out of a very long-term relationship when her and I became really good friends, and I was at my fucking lowest point. And as our friendship went on and I was getting better, it was almost like she didn't like it.
And right, because there are certain type of people who like to have you under their thumb.
Mm-hmm. It was almost like she didn't like it. And when I would do or say things or just be me, she would kind of clap back a little bit. And I got to the point where I'm like, I'm not like, this is not going to be how it was. Our friendship can change if you're okay with it, but like, I'm not that person anymore.
Yeah.
So you're either going to have to be okay with being the friend to me who I am now, because I'm not going back to that.
Right.
And I feel like she could never get there. Like she always just wanted me to be like this wounded bird or something like that. Like that was how she loved me the most, which sucks. But with you, like I've been a wounded bird. I've been a confident woman. I've been like all things all over the place. And that is what I love so much about us, is like it is ebbs and flows of how I am feeling and how you're feeling. Like you go through bad shit, I go through bad shit. I feel like we totally got off.
But that's fine, because it's all about us just speaking our truth about like life and being confident in our friendships and being confident in our life. So it makes sense that you went off on a tangent because that's what we do.
Yeah. Well, and coming out of that, I mean, this is a confidence thing, like coming out of a 9-year relationship, being completely broken, completely. I was 18 to 28. We broke up. I had known nothing other than him, obviously. And I stayed with a friend for 2 weeks and was like, fuck this shit. I'm getting my own place. I'm not going to be sad anymore. And I did it. And I just fucking grinded and I worked. And I am so proud of myself for being like, my subconscious being like, you're not going to fucking give up. You're too good to give up.
Yeah.
Like, pick your ass up and move the fuck on.
Exactly.
And that's what I did. And it was the best thing for me. And I mean, look where I'm at now.
Well, and starting over is so hard because you like have to take that moment, especially when you're in a long-term relationship, because I don't give a fuck who you are. We all conform.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's like it's like figuring out who you are again.
Yeah.
And honestly, like going back to what we originally were talking about is like giving yourself that self-talk of like positivity and like telling yourself, like, even if it feels so uncomfortable to you to talk about yourself and even to yourself, it is such an uncomfortable feeling. It's so crazy.
Yeah.
But like even taking these little things that you do love about yourself, like, I love that I smile this way, or I love that I walk.
To even say it out loud.
Like, yeah, because like my brain just like totally, because I already said the two things that I just absolutely love about myself, but I'm like, oh my God, I have amazing hair. I love my hair. I wish it was longer, but I love my hair. I have great hair. So I'm like, oh my God, I have great hair. Or, oh my God, I love that when I talk to people, I sound very sophisticated, or whatever. If you take those two little things and you just like repeat that to yourself, you'll eventually find more things that you love about yourself. And if you just keep doing that every day, anytime you have a negative thought, like today, I was like, oh my God, we have so many Christmas snacks. I'm trying to be so good because I don't necessarily love what I've been doing with my diet lately. And so when I was eating this delicious Grinch looking donut because it was all Christmas themed, I was like, I'm going to eat this donut because I care enough about myself to know that I can indulge.
And you totally can.
Right. And so it's like just changing that thought pattern of like, not like, oh my God, I'm so fat for eating this donut. More of like, I am giving my body a treat because I fucking deserve it.
I told you I did that with myself today.
Right.
I had some peanut brittle. And I am not a sweets person, but I had a piece of chocolate like a week ago and it turned my little sweet tooth on. And then so today I saw this peanut brittle and I was like, ooh, I'm going to have a piece. But it was actually very hard for me to pick it up and like actually have a piece because I mean, I'm going to flip-flop on what you just said right now, but like I am so hard on myself with that kind of stuff. And it's not even just I don't have a sweet tooth, but when I eat something like that, I automatically think like, oh God, because I know myself, because then I'm going to want more.
Right.
And that's not a pattern that I want to get back into personally.
Right, but it doesn't matter.
That's the thing, right? It doesn't matter. It's the holidays right now. I look good. I look great. Like, I shouldn't even be worrying about it. And that is what I need to keep telling myself, like what you were saying about yourself. Like, I wake up every morning and even if I feel like crap, I wake up every morning and I tell myself I'm going to look like fucking fire today. And that's who I am. That's how I build my confidence is I do my makeup. I put on the jewelry, and I dress the fuck up. And that helps me personally feel confident.
Well, and you and I are just so different in this way because definitely when I need like a confidence boost, I will dress up for work. But like I am very much a person who I will wear like a hoodie and jeans and like Converse or Vans with my hair in a high pony.
How do you feel confident?
Well, that's what I'm saying though, is that I just like I don't care. Like I don't wear makeup to work. I look like dog shit. So when I do dress up, because there are days when I'm like, I'm not feeling great, so I'm going to look like a 10.
Great.
And then I go to work and everyone's like, oh my God, like, I didn't even recognize you. I'm like, yeah, it's because I look homeless most of the time.
No, you don't. You never do.
Okay, but that is just me as a person. I'm very casual. Like, I'm very like high pony, hoodie, jeans, Converse, whatever. But there are days when I'm like, I'm feeling low, especially with like the winter blues.
Yeah.
I have depression anyway, so the seasonal depression like hits me fucking hard. And there are days I wake up, I'm like, I feel like complete dog shit. I want to put a hoodie on so bad. And I'll be like, nope, I'm going to put on a skirt. I'm going to put on leggings. I'm going to wear some heels. Yep. I'm going to wear a cute top. So I do my hair, I'll do my makeup. Like, seriously, I feel that people at my work don't even fucking recognize me. Like, oh, are you new here? I'm like, oh, no, it's me, Shan. Hi. Yeah.
Can I tell you where that stemmed from for me?
Do.
So I feel like I've always, like, kind of, like, dressed nicely or whatever.
You have. You're very classy.
Now.
Well,
not always.
I mean, since I've known you.
Yeah.
What?
So there was a point, I don't feel like I've ever just like, I don't know. There was a point in my long-term relationship where like I stopped wearing makeup. I kind of like stopped trying to like even look good for myself. Right. And, when him and I broke up, I met my friend who I'm actually not even friends with. And it's funny enough because like we were going on a camping trip and I was like in camping gear, right? Like,
which was so not like you.
So not like me. And we came over to her house and like she looked really cute. And I was like, why are you so dressed up for camping? I said that to her. And she was like, babe, I look good wherever I go. No matter what.
Preach, baby.
And that resonated with me. Is that the word?
Resonated.
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 I can't say it. Resonated. What?
Resonated. You got this.
Resonated with me so much that from that point on, I dressed up no matter what.
And you did.
And it was a huge confidence booster for myself. And it wasn't for anybody else. It was just for me.
Oh, like, same. Like, when I dress up for work, it's totally for me.
I am not dressing for men, for women. Like, I am dressing for me. I am putting my makeup on for me. I am doing my hair for me. Because when I wake up in the morning and my hair is disheveled and I have like red eyes and I'm like, oh, I really do not feel like getting ready this morning. As I get ready and go about my day and blah, 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 and I like walk into work looking like a fucking 10, walking the walk, even though I might be faking it,
right?
I feel fucking good.
Yeah.
And as the day goes on, I'll be like, I do look good. I look great. Like, I put work into myself today and I'm so happy about it. I'm so happy that I took the time out of my day to put work into what I'm wearing, what my face looks like, what my hair looks like.
Right.
But then when I get home, God, sweatpants, makeup off, hair in a bun.
Oh,
like,
yeah,
I am, you know, like, but it helps me feel confident, it almost
does.
like tricks my mind into being like, oh yeah.
No, it's so true.
Even though I'm sure I look fine without it all. But like if
but like it's a good piece of advice for like anyone, male, female. Like if you just like dress up, not even for males, like not even dress up, just like do something that makes you feel good about yourself. But like for women, like maybe just like don't put your hair in a ponytail like me every single day of my life. Put a little bit makeup on like me, not every single day of my life.
But you've been doing that more lately. Like you've shown me pictures, like not just like you look. I've told you so many times, like when you get home from work, I'm like, oh my God, babe. When you get home, I tell you how cute you look every day. We don't live together. We're not. But I'm like, you look cute in sweats and or dressed up. I love you, and I think you look beautiful.
I know. It's because you love me so
but
much. I need a man who loves me as much as you do.
But I also notice when you're like, when you send me a picture of yourself and like you have a leggings and like, I was like, oh God damn. Like,
damn girl. Hey.
Yeah. Like,
and when you dress down, I'm like, oh my God.
I'm like, good for you.
Atta girl. Oh my God, which is like never, but it's so funny. Well, because we're like totally opposite. And so like the amount of days that I dress up are the amount of days that Karina dresses down, which is very rarely. I just like, I can't, I don't know. Like I feel that there was a point in my time when I like loved makeup and I loved doing all of the things. And now I like have one mascara on one of my eyes because I feel that I forgot to put it on the other one. Which is whatever, but
I'm not high maintenance, but I do a lot of things that are high maintenance for myself. And so it's very low maintenance. Like it takes me 10 minutes to do my makeup. It takes me 10 minutes to do, less than 10 minutes to do my hair. I already know what I'm wearing, but like I do a lot of self-care. Like I do a lot of masks and I do a lot of like skincare routines and hair care routines and like that's a lot of like
I do a lot of that
too. You do too. We do a lot of like self-love for ourselves that give us that confidence the next day to be like, yeah, I fucking look good.
Yeah. Right. No, that's very, very right. The whole point to all of this is that the more that you like boost your own self-esteem, because we all love that validation from other people. Like I don't give a fuck who you are. Everybody loves that like little bit of validation from someone else. And it just makes you feel good. It makes you feel like a certain kind of way. This guy that I've been talking to, that I talked about at the beginning, we've been talking for 3 weeks. We have not met. I sent him a picture of me today. My hair is in a ponytail. I have zero makeup on. I sent him a picture of me driving home from work, and I was like, hey, this is the real me. And he was like, oh my God, you're so beautiful, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, cool, thanks. Love that for me. But it's just because the older I get, the less I care also, because I am so confident within myself.
Yeah.
That it's like, if you can't love me for who I really truly am, then I don't even want you in my life.
It's so true. I feel like I'm slowly getting there, but it's because I'm slowly getting there with myself.
Right. It's a fucking process, man. It is so... At the end of the day, like, honestly, the two best books that I could recommend to you are that Coffee Talk, the 5-minute Coffee Talk. I can't remember what it's called. Karina said it in the beginning of the episode, but in the description. And there's another book. It's called The Universe Has Your Back.
I need to read that.
But that book will come to you when you need it the most. I am not kidding you. It will pop into your life because you need it. You will read it because you need it. I am not kidding you. This book was in my Audible.
It's in my
years
right
ago.
now. I have it downloaded.
Okay, I don't even remember downloading this book.
Oh.
I just was bored one day, probably like 5 or 6 years ago. And was scrolling through my Audible books and I saw it and I was like, I don't even, like, literally, I do not even remember downloading it. And then I listened to it. It fucking changed my life. Like, there were so many things in it that resonated with me so goddamn hard that, like, every chapter I read, that was something that was equally happening in my life. It is insane.
Well, you've told me parts of it.
It changed me as a human. It's so good. It's called The Universe Has Your Back. The beginning of it is a little bit of a slow burn, but the more you get into it, again, this book will come to you when you need it. You will listen to it when you need it. You will read it when you need it. For me, I have read it multiple times just to get that bump again of like, I need this self-confidence. I need this guidance in my life. It's so good. It's so perfectly and beautifully written. I love it. I love it so much. I cannot get enough of it.
I know. I need to read it. Well, even parts that you've told me about it where, like,
yeah,
the signs will just come.
It's so many signs. It's gorgeous. I'm going to read it again tomorrow. Like, that is how much it impacts my life, is because it just, it is one of the only books that I have read multiple times.
Oh.
Because it has been such a guiding light in my life. It has changed me as a human. I love it so much. I can't even speak to it enough. Just read it, because there are so many key points in it that will just like change you as a person, or like make you reevaluate the life that you are living, because you could be living it to so much more potential. It's like that 10% of your brain that you use. It's like almost
conscious
opening. Well, I mean, I'm talking like brain, like you use like 10% of your brain.
Yeah.
It's almost like that, but in your subconscious, you're opening up that 10% of yourself to like 100%. That is how crucial the words and the meaning of this book are to me. It was just fantastic. I suggest this book to literally everyone I know, and I would tell.
You suggested the book to me, and I have it downloaded.
Well, and I'm telling you, I have been preaching this book for years, and people will be like, I finally read the book that you told me about. It completely resonated with me in this point in my life. I'm like, this fucking book comes to you, man. It comes to you when you need it the most. The book of know about it. Seriously. It's so fantastic. I will put it in the description. It is amazing. If you're into reading, I personally would suggest buying a hard copy of it, because there are so many things that I've highlighted within the book that just resonate with me so hard.
See, I'm such an Audible,
but which is also great because you can just re-listen to it. Or if you're not into it, then my bad. I apologize.
I doubt that.
Yeah. It's like $10 on Audible, so just go for it.
Credit.
Or one credit, yeah. So I don't know. This episode to me, I could go on for fucking hours about this, because it is such a big part of my life, of like listening to that like little baby voice. So I feel like it's like 1% of like this really good, amazing voice inside of you, and then 99% of the voice that's like telling you all these like demonic things about yourself. Listen to that 1%, resonate with that 1%, let that 1% grow into the 99%, and have that 1% only be this like really negative side of you. It will change your life.
Yeah, I agree. It's hard though.
It's so hard.
By a little bit. Like, okay, so you remember when I was with Ballet? I was in such a good place, I feel like, before I met him. And then he was very toxic. Very, very toxic.
Which is crazy, because people loved him because he was so people-pleasing, fake as fuck.
Everyone loved him. Except, well, your ex-boyfriend that you were with at the time saw who he was immediately, which is so funny because
It's like the pot calling the kayak.
your ex-boyfriend is a love you, but little shit.
Do we?
Yeah, we do. But I think a man seeing another man for who he is, like, should be like the number one thing, being like, skirt, you know, like,
Totally.
but there were so many times where now looking back, I saw the red flags. You know, so
They were like fluorescent.
red, orange, whatever. And I got to a point where I did not like myself. I did not think that I was pretty. I did not think that I was skinny enough. I was in a fucking bad place.
I am telling you right now, Valet, if I ever see you again, I'm going to punch you in the dick and be like, you know why?
Oh, he'll know. But it, like, he cut my confidence down to the fucking ground. I was so confident when I met him, and he cut it down so bad. And so I guess what I'm telling you ladies and men, like, if you feel that happening, please get out. I know that it's so hard to get out. And, like, you almost have to learn for yourself, because my best friend Shan was telling me, no, well, you weren't telling me, but, like, you were like, how do you feel about this? But it got to the point where I got so skinny, it was not healthy. And I felt like I should have gotten, like, skinnier, because I did not feel confident about myself. And, like, when him and I broke up, I got out of the clouds and got back into myself, and I was like, holy shit, what the fuck happened?
Yep.
And I feel like a lot of the times our confidence levels rely on who we're with at the time, and I will never do that again. That was a big, hard lesson for me to learn. Like, I felt like I learned a lot of lessons before him, but, like, that was a lesson that I learned from him, was like, no, I'm going to be confident with who I am and what I look like and how big or little I am. And if you don't like it, you can leave.
Right.
And he never said anything specifically, but it was a lot of, like, innuendo.
For sure. Yeah.
He was very thin.
There was that time that we went to brunch and I was like, not okay with the way that he was talking to you. And I was like, this motherfucker. And you're like, no. And I'm like, bitch.
Yeah, I was like,
I was not okay.
He talks to me like that all the time. And afterwards, after we broke up, I was like, oh God, like, you're...
Oh my God, it pissed me off so bad.
Yeah.
Well, and it kind of goes back to what we had said in a previous podcast about, like, not being the dumb, in the previous episode where we're like, don't be the dumb. Don't be that person who's with somebody who is just, like, treating you like complete shit while everyone around you is like, dude, what are you doing?
Oh, and I was the dumb for sure.
Right. Like,
yeah. Because I was so enamored.
Yes. And just, like, listen to the people around. Listen to your inner self. Like, if you know it's not right, it doesn't matter how in love you are with somebody, you will always find someone better. Like, Karina and I may be single right now, but we are single by choice. We are not single because we don't have options. We are single because we are picky and we are waiting for the right person.
We have options for sure.
Right. But that's my whole point, is that, like, you will have options. Don't stay with this person because you feel like this is your only option. You will have options.
Yeah.
I promise you that.
Well, and my red flag warning about this particular guy went off looking back, like, immediately.
Right. But
and
I was so blinded.
I know. I was so blinded. I chose to ignore it. Like, it was bad. It was really bad. I mean, a lot of other factors were.
I had a lot of concerns, which I had talked to you about. And you were like, no. I'm like, cool. Like the fact that he lived in his parents' basement, it's fine. I'm like, it's not okay.
At our age. Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, that's not a clear. Granted, I understand if like life happens and you have to move back in with your whatever.
No, he was just comfortable.
Yeah, it was. Oh God. Oh my God.
He was never gonna move out.
Face palming myself.
He's still doing the thing that he was doing. He never wants to move forward. He never wants to get better. Like, that is who he is, and he was fucking toxic as fuck.
I cannot with this dude.
So my point is,
be true to yourself, honestly.
And Karina.
No, be better than most of the people out there. We just want love so much. Most of people, you know, right? Like, people want to settle because they think like, oh my God, I'm never going to have anything else. That's not true. You're always going to have something better. My voice is like so hoarse because this is the second episode we've recorded tonight.
Yeah. I think that relationship specifically taught me like, and what we were saying, like each relationship teaches you something different. That relationship taught me like, I'm okay being by myself.
Oh, I feel
single and like not settling for anything less than what I deserve. And from that relationship forward, that has been it. Like, I have cut things off. I have spoken my mind. I have cut, like, I already said cut things off, but like, I have just like stopped.
right.
I have not gone any further. And
I feel that you learned the most from that relationship because it was almost like a combination of all the things.
It was a combination of all of my relationships into one.
Yeah.
In the hardest way in like 2.5 months.
Right. Yeah.
It was,
but it fucking
hard.
wrecked you. Like, it was not okay. I
was a broken fucking shell for what? I
don't know, because you don't act broken, so I could not put a time frame on it.
You're just like, it was like 2 or 3 weeks.
Yeah. Was that long? That's long for you.
That's long
for sure. That's a really long time.
I cried.
You did the things, babe.
And I think it was because
I now want to fucking bite him.
I know. But I think it was because I was just so mad at myself for letting myself get back into something like that.
I get that.
And I vowed to myself that would never happen again, and it hasn't.
Yeah,
I've stopped it. Like,
you've gotten the ick finally. You did all the things. You've nipped it in the bud with other relationships where you know that they weren't going to treat you the way that you wanted to be treated.
Well, that's my confidence right there. Like,
totally. Everyone should have that. Every single person should have that level of confidence to know that, like, this is your life. Again, this is the only life that we know of. Like, why not live it to like the most happy and like fullest potential? My voice is literally getting hoarse.
Oh, man.
I talk a lot, but apparently not this one. I have a lot to say. But anyway, I don't know. I guess we should probably wrap it up. This was just more of like a vulnerable thing for us. We wanted to let you guys know, like, if there's any takeaway from this, it's to be kind to yourself. Give yourself a little bit of grace. Don't give yourself a little bit of grace. Give yourself all of the fucking grace because you deserve it. Like, honestly, it doesn't matter who you are. Speak so kindly to yourself. Speak to yourself like you would speak to your favorite person on the planet.
To your child.
To your child. Speak to yourself like you would speak to your child.
Or if you don't have children, your favorite person.
Yeah.
Your best friend.
Your bestie. Like your mom, your dad.
Yeah.
Your favorite
whoever you love the most, speak to yourself how you would speak to.
That's exactly right.
Because I guarantee they would speak right back to you. And I will attest to that, where my daughters will come in to me in the morning. I'm in bed.
Say true.
Yeah. They're so beautiful, Mom. And like, I'm like, ah.
One eye in it.
She'll rub my cheek. You're so beautiful, Mom. Like, that kind of love like, you can't fucking get that.
Can't buy that shit.
No, like, she really truly feels that way about me, and I really truly feel that way about my children and my best friend. Like, do not let anybody into your life who isn't going to speak to you like that.
Amen, honey. And to that point, like, I just want you to know, Karina, like, you are my favorite person. Like, I appreciate you. I love you so dearly. Like, you are just like the light in my life. You're the first person I want to tell when something awesome happened in my day. You're the first person I want to tell when something shitty happened in my day. Like, you have been my rock since forever. Like, I can't tell you the appreciation and the gratitude and the love that I have in my heart for you, because you just mean so much to me. I just love you. Like, so purely and so perfectly. I just love you so much. You fucking better.
Dude. I already told you all my love.
You did. You're so much. And I was just like sitting here, like letting it happen.
I know. I'm sitting
like looking here, like so enamored by everything you're saying. I'm like, tell me some more about me. Tell me more about how you love me and how I'm perfect and amazing.
That is a Leo Cancer customer. We're both like,
oh my God, tell me more about me.
So much to tell you about me right now. Right now.
Oh my God, it's so
that is my voice.
Oh, it's so great. It's so perfect.
So we'll tell each other, but we'll also be like, now tell me.
Oh my God, seriously. We'll just look at each other and be like, I love you so much. And be like, oh my God, tell me more about why you love me. I need to know all of the things. That's probably why my love language is words of affirmation. Like, tell me more about me.
I think it's everybody's love language.
Oh my God.
Who doesn't want to hear more about that?
I know. It's so
doesn't?
true. Oh, it's so true. Anyway, I love you so much, Karina. Ba-ba-da-da.
To whoever may need this nugget of encouragement, things will be alright, so quit your worry. I get it, the odds seem stacked back against the wall, but even consider it such, no, you'll stand firm. Setting watch from